Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Cowboy here. And it is Thursday, July the 9th. It is 8:30 a.m. EST. And we're taking a look at oil to start with today. You know, I don't usually trade oil. Oil is it's a brutal thing to trade. It'll take your money. I mean, it's just one of those assets that has a lot of stop runs. It's very, very tricky. In my opinion, very corrupt. However, it matters because it pushes the rest of the market around. And when you pay attention to what oil does, or if you let's just say you have a market shock and you're like, hey, what the heck happened? One of the first places I will take a look at is oil. It's like, oh, well, that's indicating that this happened. And in this case, for most of this year or much of this year, it's been about Iran. So, you know, Trump bombs Iran. I guess Iran shot some ships. I don't know. When I look at these kind of things, it's like, okay, it's another Iran thing. You know, I almost becomes, and I hate to say this, what is not noise to me, what is terrible is all the people who are dying. That I think should just end and end now. And my heart goes out to all the families of all the people who are being killed in this conflict. Aside from that, though, it's just noise to me. You know, I want the people to stop dying. But aside from that, you know, putting that aside, being unemotional about it, which is, it's hard to do. We can take a look at what it does to markets. And in this case, it puts pressure on the Nasdaq. Okay. So before we get into the charts and how we can take advantage of that and what I think the Nasdaq is going to do, take a look in the description. There is a free algo. Okay. We're giving this away and it's a short video. You watch me make an algo before your very eyes. And what you can do with that algo is once it's optimized, you have to optimize it first, but people plug these algos into their agentic AI trading bots, right? So they make an AI bot, they use Claude, whatever it is, and it trades for them while they're not even sitting at the computer. It's all actually relatively easy to do. But the thing is that you have to optimize this first. You don't just, you know, take it and here you go. And hey, Claude, make me an algo, right? It's not how it works. But the algorithm, your trading algo, is the heart and soul, the engine that tells the agentic AI trading bot what to do. Okay, so if you want to learn how to put that together, talk to us over here at algofactory.tech, or simply watch the video. Watch the video that I put together for you. The free algo in the description. Click the link. Also like and subscribe. 60% of you watch this do not subscribe, so please do that. Okay, so good. Let's see. Oil started to head up. Let's put a line here to what is that? Actually, it was at 5 a.m. Thursday. And this was actually last Thursday, right? It's kind of when it started to peak up. So if we go back to 5 a.m. last Thursday on, let's just look at the Nasdaq. Okay, so we got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Is that right? The Friday the 3rd. Well, might as well get on the right day. Close enough. You can see that the Nasdaq took a tumble right around that time. Nasty tumble. You see it right here, right? So it really, if I put the arrow on the spot, it's right there, but then it covers up the price action. So I'll take the line off and I'll just point to it with an arrow. You see that Nasdaq took a tumble and it's been in a downtrend ever since, right? So how do we know what a downtrend is? How do you identify a downtrend? And the reason we ask that is because you can make money if you can identify a downtrend, and it's extremely easy. You have a lower high and a lower low. So we're in a wider downtrend when the market made its all-time high back here in, what was this, June? Right here, that was the all-time high in the Nasdaq. The market tried to regain that high, right? Tried to reclaim it and was unable to. It got rejected and headed down and actually has been in a downtrend since. However, if you zoom in, you'll also notice that after the event, after the attacks in Iran, it's been in a downtrend within a downtrend. So this is additional downward pressure. And you can see it right here. You have a lower high, a lower low, and it hasn't breached this high yet. So we're going to know if this downtrend continues probably today, later today. If the market continues at this trajectory, the market is here for now. You'll see that the level that price has to break above is 30,126. Okay. So that's the level we're looking at, is 30,125 or so. If price can make its way up there and break above this right here, that is where you will see this current mini downtrend broken, right? Now you could actually extend this all the way back to here, but the events in Iran happened right there. So it's been in a downtrend for a while, but this little mini downtrend that's sort of associated with Iran, that would, or at least ostensibly associated with Iran, would break if price could get above that. And price did nothing but go up yesterday. There was you could say it was a technical bounce. So if you look back here, when we had the larger crash back in June, and I believe that was due in big part to the Bank of Japan tech sell-offs. So there's a number of reasons for that. But when that happened, it created a low at 28,500. And then when price tried to get back to that low, it was held up. And it was held up artificially. You can tell by the price action. If you notice right here, the way that the wicks are going, all these wicky sort of price, all those lines right there, those are wicks. That's like the market battling, trying to decide which direction to go. And it happened both times. So the market's been held up right here and right there. That's not natural price action, really. That doesn't look very natural. So at this point, though, it doesn't appear that the market is being held up in the same kind of way. It does appear that there was at least a technical bounce, and then I'm sure that participants came in to push this up. I mean, by definition, they certainly did, but I think it was done more than like, oh, hey, I'm going to buy this. It's a good opportunity. I think it was actually held up by, important people. It's hard to say. It's impossible to know, really, unless, you want to spend 30,000 on a Bloomberg terminal per month. You could probably do some flow through AIs. You could probably get some data from market flow. But long story short, it almost doesn't matter because the movement of price is pretty predictable right now. If I had to guess right now, just from price action, not looking at the algos, it does look like it will approach this level. But I'm going to take a quick look at the data here, and then we'll move on. I'll probably have a look at Bitcoin after this, and then we'll go to the private live lab. So this does look like it's got the juice to move up. Let me look at the multi-time frame analysis here. Yeah, this will most likely move up to that level. I'm going to expand this out and take a look at some higher time frames. Yeah. Now we are approaching on the high time frame here. We're looking at a decrease in volatility. I know the screen that you're looking at doesn't like show you a whole lot, but the volatility of the higher time frames is slowing down. Okay. It did need to cool off after this big move up that we saw, like going back to March. So this move up in March was just ginormous, right? That move up going back to March was actually a very low probability event. For it to go up as high as it did, which was 34%, and it happened in 64 days. That was actually I think it was like a 3 sigma event or a 4 sigma event. A very, very low probability, like 0.2% that the market would do that. Okay, so we have to understand that the lack of likelihood, the unlikelihood of that is extremely high, and there will be a pullback. I would be very surprised if there wasn't a further pullback than we've already seen. And the question is, how deep would it go? And I will rely on this other Nasdaq chart here. Let me delete these drawings. And I mean, the lowest I think it would go would be the November of 2025 highs. If it really pulls back a lot, it would be a significant pullback. And it would, I think the market would get a little scared if it did, but it will want to pull back to 26,500. It's up just below 30,000. I mean, this is a significant pullback. If the market were not somehow held up, then from the current price, we would be looking at reasonably a 10% drop in the market. That's a very large drop, right? Now, if they managed it and it just kind of slowly happened over the summertime, then that would be something the market could stomach. And I think that the market's going to need some kind of a blow off from this. Now, the blow off may not go that low. It might revisit that low that happened back in June, 9th of June, and it might just continue up. But generally, it's going to want to pull back to that level at some point. So the way that it's just, it's impossible to know how it will go. But I'm looking at November because of the elections as an important, sort of marker. So I have to put this out in October because that's as far as this chart will go. I mean, that's a lot of time for this to meander down, and the market will just kind of accept it and then maybe head up here, right? So if the market kind of gets used to this sideways to down movement, but doesn't decrease too far, then all the people holding retirement accounts won't get too upset, and then they can let this burn off, and then they can push it up for the elections, right? And they will, and they do, and this is how things work. That's a scenario, right? The other type of scenario we could see is just some kind of brutal event where during this consolidation, all the smart money is able to get their shorts on, right? They can use this little back and forth that we're seeing in the last month or two to fill short positions. And then that way they can also exit their long positions. And then we see a quick move down and then back up. And that does happen if we look historically, right? You'll see, actually, honestly, the way that I just talked about, we saw the slow burn off. You could literally drag and drop this, like, so funny. I was just talking about this. Here it is. You could drag and drop this into that same basic like plan right here. You might have to compress the time frame, right? But you could drag and drop that and just compress it. You see how it pops up really hard after that? Well, they could just simply compress the time frame like this and just literally do the same thing. It's almost a drag and drop, but they have less time to do it. But the thing about the summer is that the summer is slower. There's less like volatility, so they could actually pull it off and then have like mid-September and then up for the elections again. So we'll see how it happens. It's impossible to know what they can and cannot do, but I do believe that the current administration will pull out all the stops. I think that they will do just about anything. They're literally bombing Iran right now. Now, is the bombing in Iran a big deal? Is they're making a bigger deal out of it than it is? I don't know. That's what's hard to say. We have these little scuffles, and then it kind of boils over. It's not a big deal. Let's take a quick look at Bitcoin, and then we'll move on to the private live lab. Look, Bitcoin flirting with 60,000. It has had a good few days, but if you zoom out, you must understand, like, when you zoom out, is a definite downtrend. We were just talking about this with the Nasdaq. Lower high, lower low, really lower high, maybe it might go up higher. So just judging by this, the key level that we're looking at, the price has to break above in order to violate the downtrend right now. That level for Bitcoin is 67,500. Price must get above 67,500 in order to violate the downtrend. Vita Grill, how are you, sir?
Namaste. How are you, sir?
Namaste.
Yes.
We don't see you there, but I got you up here anyway. You got in here just in time for us to move over to the private live lab. I just got done talking about what I think is going to happen. Ultimately, I think they're going to let the Nasdaq burn off and then push it back up for the election.
Yep.
That's pretty simple. But I graphically explained it in great detail, and I have bored a few people doing it. But
Very
Bitcoin, totally graphic. Bitcoin's got to get above basically 67,500 to violate the downtrend, and it could. It's possible, but ultimately, Bitcoin is just kind of stepping down lower and lower and lower. And V and I are in agreement for separate reasons that Bitcoin's probably going to see like 30,000 or below by the end of the year. So, are you still on that page, V?
Say again?
Are you still? I know you and I had different reasons for this, believing this, but we think Bitcoin's going to go below 30,000 by the end of the year.
Yes.
That we're both okay? Yeah, like 25,000 is quite possible.
Very.
Yeah. So, well, since if you want to do the honors, V, and get us over to the private live lab, that'd be awesome.
Absolutely. Listen, guys, don't sit on the sidelines wondering if this is for you. Join us. Algo Factory.tech. Take it away, Cowboy.
Join us or die.
Or die.
Kidding.